It started with sirens and a lie. I was standing on my porch, sipping my morning coffee, Boomer at my feet, when the sheriff's cruiser rolled up my gravel driveway, lights flashing. No siren, just quiet tension humming in the air. 2 officers stepped out. One of them looked straight at me and said, "Sir, we got a report of a stolen vehicle on this property. Mind if we look around?" I blinked. "You mean my truck?" Charcoal gray Ford F-250. Toolbox in the bed. Hickory Ridge Ranch logo. Right there on the door. Paid off. Scratched up. Dent in the bumper from a stump I misjudged last spring. It's been mine longer than some of my neighbors have owned shoes. But just as I opened my mouth to say all that, I saw her. Diana Whitaker. Tall, smug, dressed head to toe in white, like she's allergic to dirt and personality. President of the Maple Hollow HOA, lives about a mile down, but always finds her way up here when she smells trouble. Or more accurately, creates it. She's the kind of woman who once tried to report my scarecrow for being too lifelike, claimed my rooster violated noise ordinances, said my barn looked threatening. Yeah, that Diana. And there she was again, arms crossed like a statue, staring at me like she just saved the neighborhood from a zombie apocalypse. But what she didn't know, what made this different, was that I'd already seen the footage. Cameras caught her sneaking onto my land that morning, circling my truck, even tugging the handle. I installed security after her last stunt, and thank God I did. So I told the sheriff, real calm, "I've got footage you need to see." He paused. "You saying this report's false?" "Exactly." But just as we were about to head inside, his radio crackled. "Same caller just reported visible firearms on the property." Boom. That's when it stopped being a nuisance and started feeling like a setup. I raised my hand slow, not because I had anything to hide, but because when things get twisted, it's better to be the one who stays calm. And that's when the twist came rolling up. Black SUV. Out steps a young woman in a suit, blonde ponytail, binder in hand. Looks at Diana and says, "Aunt Diana, what did I tell you? One more false call, and I step in." I raised an eyebrow. "You two related?" She nodded, walked up, and offered her hand. "Rachel Whitaker, I'm also your lawyer now." Just like that, the air shifted. Diana's face turned to stone. Rachel told me she'd warned her aunt before. This was the final straw. And now, she was representing me. Turns out, she didn't just bring legal backup. She brought a fuse to the powder keg. But Diana wasn't finished. Not even close. Next morning, my phone blew up. Neighbors calling, messages pouring in. "Logan, check the HOA website, man." I did, and there it was. Front page alert claiming my ranch was an unlicensed scrapyard. Photos of my tractor, a pile of firewood, even my nephew's dirt bike, all labeled hazardous. And under it, a petition. Already 46 signatures deep, calling for the county to shut me down. So I drove straight to the county clerk's office. Donna, an old friend from school, was working the desk. She didn't even ask why I was there, just pulled up the file. Yep, multiple complaints, all from Diana Whitaker. She's pushing for a zoning reevaluation. What for? She's claiming industrial use based on your equipment. I nearly choked. "Donna, this is a ranch, not a factory." She nodded. "I know, but she also requested aerial surveillance. That night, I found a red HOA sign staked right outside my fence. Pending county review. Below it, community safety concern. Boomer barked. I didn't blame him, but the next morning it got worse. Fence crushed. Strange pickup parked by the line. 2 men unloading a boundary marker. "Hey!" I hollered. "You're on private land." One guy shrugged. "We're just following orders. HOA said to update the boundary. I stepped in front of him, heart pounding. This fence hasn't moved since '88. You touch another post, you're trespassing. They dropped the marker and left. Rachel called it what it was. Tactical harassment. Delay me, stress me, make me snap. But Diana still had more cards to play. That night, someone posted a photo of me on Facebook, taken from the trees. Shirtless, digging a post hole. Caption: "Is this what our children should see next door?" And then at 2:36 a.m., motion alert hit my phone. Camera feed lit up. Diana herself, creeping in pajamas, taping a flyer to my gate. It read, "Stand against unsafe neighbors. Join the HOA patrol." With a photo of my truck, scribbled notes, "Unregistered, banenda daintisu." And then came the morning I'll never forget. I stepped outside to find an orange sticker on my windshield. County violation. Tow scheduled. I ran. Literally sprinted across the dirt, Boomer barking like mad. Tow truck was already barreling toward the gate. I stood in front of my pickup, arms crossed. "Not today," I said. Driver got out, chewing gum. Complaint said abandoned. I haul it or get fined. "You lay one finger on this truck, you'll be hearing from my attorney." He hesitated. Then Rachel arrived like a storm. "Touch that vehicle," she said, "and we'll file faster than you can climb back in that cab." County compliance officer showed up soon after. Clipboard, serious eyes. "We're required to verify the complaint." Rachel pulled out screenshots. Diana trespassing at 2:36 a.m., whispering into her phone. "I'll get him towed by sunrise." Officer blinked. "That's harassment." Tow guy left empty-handed, but Diana didn't stop. 2 days before our hearing, she came back, with a man in a blazer and a drone. Claimed 5 acres of my west pasture belonged to Maple Hollow. Waved a forged map in my face. I called the sheriff. When he showed up, he said, "I baled hay on this field when I was a kid. That land's been yours since before HOAs were a thing." He cited Diana right there. Trespassing, unlawful surveying, and drone violation. But it wasn't over. She filed a lawsuit. Claimed I was a public nuisance. Aggressive. A threat. Court day came fast. I wore clean jeans and a pressed shirt. Rachel looked like she was ready to burn the place down. With facts. Diana's side flailed. Claimed my rooster caused trauma. Said Boomer was a menace. Said my barn lowered property values. Then Rachel stood, calm and sharp. "Your Honor," she said, "we have footage. We have reports. We have witnesses." Judge looked at Diana. "Can you explain why you were seen trespassing at 2:36 a.m.? Diana stammered. I was protecting the community." "You taped a flyer to his gate in the middle of the night." Judge exhaled. "I've heard enough." She dismissed their case and allowed us to move forward with a counter. Outside, neighbors clapped me on the back. One handed me sweet tea. Said, "About time someone stood up to her." 3 weeks later, we threw a big BBQ at Hickory Ridge. Everyone came, even a few folks from Maple Hollow who didn't support Diana. Kids rode Boomer like a rodeo pony. Music played. And right there on the edge of the pasture, I raised a flagpole. Top flag read, "Don't fence me in." Below it, Hickory Ridge Ranch, Est in 1988. We stand our ground. Diana never showed. Word was, she'd resigned. Her niece, Rachel, filed an ethics complaint. And rumor had it, she put her house on the market. A week before Christmas, a box showed up at my door. No return address. Inside was a small wooden plaque, hand-carved. One word burned into it, "Sorry." And you know what? I don't care if it was guilt or fear, or both. Because when the dust settles, truth speaks loudest. So let me ask you, what would you do if someone tried to take your land with lies and signatures? You fight back or walk away? Tell me down in the comments. Because this kind of war ain't just about fences, it's about respect.